Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure the word irony was created for exact moments like this. There is no way. Yes, you read the title. It's absolutely true. No exaggeration in the littlest way. How many faking extremes? What did he say? 100 million streams disappear. No one asked them. Woo! Hey, just stop rapping about bots at this point. But before we get into what just happened with Spotify and the disappearance of all these Drake streams, I need to get this out the way. Ladies and gentlemen, Bonnet Screw here. Statistics show about only 20% of the people watching this video are subscribed. And actually, ever since I've been saying this, the percentage actually went up. So shout out to y'all. Hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 2 million subscribers. I know you always see YouTubers say like, comment, subscribe, and you'd be like, man, get this out of here. But honestly, it actually helps. So, whoo! Let's just get right into what happened because you wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it. Ladies and gentlemen, so Spotify came out and made this tweet. Oh my goodness. What does this tweet say? On May 15th, Iceman became Spotify's most streamed album of 2026 in a single day. And Drake became the most streamed artist in a single day in 2026. That's a big move. It don't matter how you feel about homie. It don't matter. That's a big move. And like I said, Iceman was by far the best project out of all those projects. Now that would be dope if it was true. Oh my God. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Navy, I'm pretty sure that's BTS's fan base, they weren't having that. Hold on. So, after this tweet went out, boy, was this comment section hit up crazy. All right, right here, BTS fan, they say, Spotify, you always getting whacked by armies. Oh, Army, that's what it is. Shout out to the Army. Y'all know I used to react to BTS heavy, bruh. I might throw a BTS reaction in there if y'all really, if the Army's still around. I don't know if y'all still rocking with me, but never learning. And then here they show that BTS number one. All right, cool. So they were, and then what's ironically hilarious is we had the Owls, the OV Hoes in here celebrating, and just like always, it blew up in their face. So, oh, Drake, don't end BTS like that. Don't worry, he didn't. Now here's another one right here. Spotify. You had everyone reporting 13.2 million streams as the original number for Make Them Cry. Before tracking ended, but your excuse now for this particular stat results from an error from combining two different album tracks. So where are the updated numbers for said track? Post. Listen, one thing you're not gonna do is mess around with that BTS fan base. One thing you're not gonna do is take one of their accolades away while the BTS fan base still breathes. Boy, huh? And shout out to BTS, the hardest song that I'm in the stars tonight. Come on, we don't take no BTS slander on this page, nigga. Yeah, go check out my BTS reaction. So anyway, they did that right now. Before we go any further, I gotta say this, ladies and gentlemen. People be like, "Oh, you guys are so biased. Stand wars." Ladies and gentlemen, we are showing that we are elevating beyond the stand wars, beyond the standum with this statement right here. Hip hop is my bias. Huh? Hip hop is my bias. It don't matter who lying for who streams, who lying for what position. Hip hop is the bias. And I want to thank every single person who has been grabbing one of these shirts. I'm not gonna lie to you. I underestimated how popular these shirts were going to be. And when I say I got personal thank you messages to send out for like a couple days, I do. And I'm gonna get to every one of those. So everybody who grabs one of these shirts for the next 3 days will get a personal thank you video from me. So once you purchase it, check your email, keep checking it, and you should see me pop up in there. And shout out to everybody, because it's one thing to watch the videos, it's one thing to hit that thumbs up, it's another thing to subscribe, but it's a whole nother thing to go out and really grab that merch. So I appreciate you. Now back to this. So the BTS Army said, all right, stop playing with us, right? So then Spotify had to come out and make this tweet. The initial stream review process was completely manual, resulting in streams from two different album tracks being combined. Drake continues to hold the record for the most streamed artist and album in a single day in 2026. We apologize for the error and have implemented updated review process to prevent similar issues, right? And I don't even know if he still holds the thing. But anyway, so these are the comment section lit him right up. You calculated the streams for Drake manually. You just admitted to manipulating his count. This the type of metric is not manually calculated by systems. Anyone in IT knows that. And also that lack of credibility process for data collection dilutes credibility. Oh, she knows what she's talking about. Shout out to Shaw Knows. Ladies and gentlemen, the irony of, if you remember, Drake initially started this whole lawsuit that ended up just being defamation, acting like it was about Spotify lying. They're inflating streams. They're manipulating for Kendrick. And Lord have mercy, would you see here? Spotify had to come out and say, yeah, we messed up. We manipulated his streams a little bit. Whether they're saying it's not on purpose, but whether purpose or not, that is an insane mistake to make, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't even know when they say that he holds that record. I don't even know if that's true. So thanks for proving to us what we already knew. The numbers have always been fraudulent. In that, so spreading misinformation had all these other blog outlets posting prematurely, shameless after being included in that position. So BTS still holds that title. It was not Drake. I don't even know why that correction happens. Humans don't stream music like this, so there's a bunch of botting allegation. And yes, this always happens to BTS. And this is showing another situation where they tried to take a number one away from BTS or another accolade. Every year we endeavor to accurately reflect the conception. Yeah. So they made this mistake already for BTS? The initial stream review was completely manual. Oh my God. Oh my God, the irony. So he got cooked up. And ladies and gentlemen, if it just ended there, that would be crazy. But it goes to a whole nother level. Ladies and gentlemen, not only the irony of Drake saying, accusing Spotify of manipulating stuff for Kendrick Lamar, not like us. He also talked about payola, basically, and bots and fake streams. Even in the Iceman album, Drake talked about 100 million streams disappeared. Nobody said anything, which was a propaganda spin that he bought into, which was never real. But you want to know what is real? Shout out to Anya Sanda, Stylebender. Iceman by Drake receives 70 million filtered streams on the global Spotify charts. If you don't know what that means, filtered streams means removed streams. Removed for whatever reason, but I'm assuming with 70 million. People are talking about botting. People are talking about 70 million. I'm not going to come out and say Drake himself was doing the 70 million. You know what's getting crazier? Clearly they're getting better at catching body streams, because this is what happened to 21 Savage too. Now, it wasn't 70 million. Drake lost 70 million streams. Do y'all realize that Drake lost more streams? I mean, almost lost the same amount of streams that GNX had the second day. 70 million is just disappeared out of nowhere. Iceman received 31 by itself 31 million filter streams on the US Spotify. So that means Iceman had the majority of the fake streams removed. Now this was day one. And the craziest part is they reported maybe not an accurate record, but this is the new record. And some people were saying, well, that's normal. That's a normal amount of fall off. It's absolutely not. You want to know how we can just nip that in the butt, that's not normal and that doesn't seem like human? Because now Drake officially holds the record for the biggest drop off of a number one song on Spotify global charts with Make Them Cry decreasing 62%. It breaks I almost said Harry Mack. Harry Styles for Aperture. 62%. That means more people bought, more of these streams were fake than not fake. Over 50% would mean there was more botting activity than there was actually people watching this. And that was just day one. It keeps going. Ladies and gentlemen, this is day one. 70 million streams lost. Drake grabs the record, or the record for the most streams lost on a number one song. That much. And then day two, it keeps going. 50 million streams were filtered from Drake on day two. 50 million. 50 million. So 120 million streams estimated around in 48 hours were removed from Drake's album count. See, I don't even really cover I'm not like a numbers, whatever, where I'm covering the numbers because it's hip hop news, so I got covered. And he literally broke a record. So not covering it would be insane. And what makes the covering even crazier is how much Drake was the one championing that people were inflating numbers, people were faking streams, Spotify was lying for certain people just to come out that Drake is now the record holder for the biggest drop off in one song. 60. So at this point, bro, I don't want to hear no talk about no rappers talking about bots. Well, not Drake. And goes back to that theory where people say, I think Drake felt so confident about the streaming because maybe it's something that, about the botting and the streaming and saying it couldn't be real because maybe that's something he used to. Like I said, bro, Drake now holds the record for the biggest drop of a number one song. Now, I'm not even just here. Like I said, there are songs on Iceman that I do like. I do think Iceman, especially when it comes to rapping, is Drake's best rapping in just technical ability rapping in years. And Drake needed some sort of inspiration, and that global beatdown that he got was probably the best inspiration you could get. Now, I do look at Iceman more like a cry for help than an album. I just don't think that people should be so confident in telling people that they're doing something when they're actually the ones doing it. Because that's actually a strategy where people like Trump and them do, where you accuse people of doing the things you do. So when it comes out you do it, it don't look as crazy. Or you know what I'm saying? That's a strategy. So we'll see what happens from here. But and like I said, Iceman is still going to do numbers. Iceman is still doing numbers. Iceman is still streaming crazy. Iceman is still going to cover the Billboard charts because it's 3 albums worth of Drake. But a lot of this feels like quantity over quality, especially with those other 2 albums. Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. How many faking they streams?